So we got a new trailer, One Winged Angel trailer for the Switch 2 and Xbox Series X and S release for Final Fantasy VII Remake. Um, so I want to check this out. I've been home sick for like 4 or 5 days. Uh, so excuse me if I end up like going into random coughing fits. Um, but let's check this out.
Spring comes, I'm leaving town. I'm going to Midgar. I'm going to be a soldier. The best of the best, like Sephiroth.
Sephiroth, the war hero? I know he died in an accident 5 years ago. They said so on the news.
Maybe they did. But I've got a feeling he's still alive.
You are too weak to save anyone. Not even yourself.
My biggest regret when I played this on my PS5, when I had one, is I feel like I didn't really take my time with it. So I'll definitely,
You have failed again, I see.
when I get it for Xbox, I'll definitely be
But
doing
through
that.
suffering, you will grow strong.
Shut up!
Cloud, lend me your strength. Let us defy destiny together.
Well, January 22nd, 2026 for the Switch 2 and the Xbox. Um, it's pretty crazy that it's been 5 years since this came out for the PS4 exclusively. And I think that it was a mistake for Final Fantasy VII remake and Final Fantasy 16 to be PlayStation exclusives. And here's why: Final Fantasy hasn't been a PlayStation exclusive um, since 11. They went back to it with 12, but 13 and 15 were also on Xbox and PlayStation. But if you want to argue, well, Final Fantasy is synonymous with PlayStation. I would disagree. The first 6 Final Fantasy games were exclusive to Nintendo. Then 7, 8, 9, 10 were exclusive to PlayStation. And then 11 came to both the PS2 and the Xbox 360. So, I mean, there were more mainline Final Fantasy games that were exclusive to this Nintendo versus what have been exclusive for the PlayStation before coming to other platforms. But I think this is exciting. I think it's long overdue. I want to be an optimist. I want it to do well, but from what I understand, the sales for 16 weren't to their expectations. But I think had they released the Xbox version, the PS5 version at the same time, I think that the hype would have been there. And I'm not trying to argue that Final Fantasy 15's sales were on the Xbox One were astronomical, but I think that they were probably more so than what 16 got, releasing a couple years afterwards. I think there's a little bit more. All right, so with the Switch 2, you get a limited bonus item. You get a booster pack, and with the Switch 2 and Xbox, you get the original Final Fantasy VII. Huh. So this also means that the there won't be a physical edition for the Xbox. I was kind of hoping that maybe for a holiday surprise they'd change their mind, but if they were going to change their mind or surprise us or whatever, I think that would have been done now. But I guess the only way I could see it happening is when they do part 2, they maybe release it as a bundle, or maybe even part 3, they release all 3 in a bundle. But I think that Square has been doing mostly digital releases for Xbox. They did it with the Tactics remaster, so I'm not too surprised that it's still digital only for Final Fantasy VII Remake, and it's the same with Final Fantasy 16. It's better than nothing. I like having the Final Fantasies displayed on my shelf, but I as much as I hate to say it, because I've been an Xbox guy for almost 20 years. The brand is dying, but it is cool that it's finally here. I imagine that part 2 will come out in the middle of 2026, and for Xbox, it's already available on PS5. I don't know. There hasn't been any announcement for part 3 or even what part 3 is going to be called, because they separated the game into 3 parts, and as sort of a reference to the original Final Fantasy VII being on 3 discs. So hopefully it comes out near the end of 2026. I don't think, Square has 2 games, I think, coming out next year. The Dragon Quest VII remake, and then there's another pixel art game that's coming out that I can't recall the name of, which is telling, because usually I can recall the names of these games, but I've not been paying enough attention to it. But let me know your thoughts below. Are you excited for Final Fantasy VII Remake to come to Xbox along with its sequels? Do you plan on getting it? There is a demo available. I might be playing that on live stream at some point, so we'll see. I've been feeling much better, so I think that is a strong possibility. I'm anxious to get back into the game because the game is very, very fun. I think that for first timers, Final Fantasy VII is perfect, and I could say the same for the remake. I mean, the original is a classic, but for some gamers, they can't get over the dated graphics. But to me, the combat is so fun and the gameplay is so fun that I am willing to overlook it. But take care.